as early as possible. We also get the Gragas as the last pick coming through for Broken Blade here. A bit of an unsurprising blind pick, right? You get that extra magic damage, you have great tools, you have good disengage, and just as we saw from Top Esports earlier, there's a ton of disengage. There's so much burst if anyone tries to jump in, and Bwipo actually going to be bringing in the first Garner of the Esports World Cup.
Yeah, I find the Gragas to be really dangerous when you can set up all these brushes. But let's get onto the Rift here for game number 1. G2 Esports versus FlyQuest, the last chance for an LEC representative to make it to the semi-finals. Team Liquid already there for the LCS. FlyQuest would love to join them though. We'll see whether it is going to be the first region eliminated from EWC. A lot on the line. Doubled prize money just for winning this.
Just for one.
Doubled prize money. And you also don't have to hand your key over, which we have seen just be devastating.
It's tragic
for everyone. And it's so public. It's right up there on the stage as well. Oh man, it just looks really, really rough. So I imagine that's what most teams are dreading.
That's one of the big things that you're going to be looking at. And you know that if FlyQuest does win this, they're going to be picking that G2 key to put in their own trophy at the end of everything. Yeah. It's just the kind of rivalry that you will have for years and years. But FlyQuest not going to be able to get anything done. I love the fact that Yike already walked in just to say, hey, what's going on over here? Or this is another opportunity for him to just pump out the deeps.
I mean, Cassiopeia is basically an 80 carry that does magic damage, let's be honest. Yep. You just press a different button in order to do it. It's okay. Boostio already taking a lot of damage. Yike coming in, and that is going to be first blood already at 3 minutes into the game. Yike going to collect it, and G2 on the board.
Saving grace that it is going to be going over towards the Ivor. Not going to be the same kind of damage output, but hey, you can do more damage if you just don't die, and Yike is going to be doing that for the rest of his team, and Inspired not able to build up a CS advantage at all.
As Inspired comes on over, Trigger Seed is going to stun him up. Gives him the good old okay, as one more time, action here towards the bottom side. Not able to stack up that passive. Finally, the concussive blows does come in. As Boostio down to 50%, but it's a lot of damage being offered back here by Marcio. Oh no, Boostio, he'll have to flash this time around, and he at least isn't going to die, but that is a big cooldown. Marcio still staying on that front foot. This might actually be a little bit of a skirmish. You can see Yike coming up. Quad going to dive in on top of Caps here as well. Does get the Buster shot out just to try and get some sticky damage. As Winter's Bite not going to find the mark. Mickey X just going to punch a minion in frustration.
Good up there.
Yeah, and here on this top side of the map, Boostio going to be able to grab a stun. Gets the flash out from Yike as well. Definitely not wanting to stick around. It looks like Inspired should be able to grab these grubs. There's the second one as well. Bwipo coming down, utilizing that lane control that he's picked up, and that's all three. Can they find a team fight as well? Those rocket jump in. Quad is going crazy. And Caps trying to get himself out of that. Impale very close, but not quite close enough. The strides.
Time for Bwipo to reestablish control over the lane state.
Yeah, just going to be getting rid of these minions. And Inspired being frustrating, but otherwise not too much is going to happen there. So just going to get Bwipo a decent back timer. And there's a cask, actually, as Bwipo's in a bit of trouble. Going to be able to get himself out of there, but I think message received.
Yeah, and Moss is receiving a message on the bottom side as well, as G2 potentially setting up for a dive. Boostio is entirely under tower.
Yeah, decent amount of information here for FlyQuest, but information doesn't mean a whole lot when there's not very many people that can come down and help out. Quad's trying to get down there. We'll just have to see. Minions are going to dissipate, and that means FlyQuest have an opportunity now to go back home. And yes, G2 have picked up first blood, but here could be another opportunity for FlyQuest as Caps trying to get himself out of there. The Q going to miss there from Inspired. And the burn is going to come in, and Brand is on the board. 1-1 now as Fly even the score. Marsu not going to be killing him with a Mystic Shot or anything like that right now. Looks like it's just going to be a Dragon consideration as Bwipo doing a fair bit of work up here. Last time we checked in, the Gragas was doing a great job as G2 looking to even the score when it comes to these grubs in response to the first Dragon of the game. And FlyQuest actually with a fair bit of control as far as picking up these neutrals and staying in it as far as the tempo of the game is concerned. I think a lot of that has to do with Quad actually standing his ground beautifully here on this Tristana into Corki in the mid lane. So Yike going to come on over and does clear this one out. Phosphorus Bomb, will he be able to stop this? And
he does stop. Yeah, That is fair, but this is definitely one right now where G2 Esports are going to be the ones starting up the Herald, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any response, because this was the perfect opportunity for them to dirty the waters, get a couple of those kills, get a couple of those opportunities for team fight, but none of that's going to be coming through. And the big thing you always got to ask is when one team gets an objective, what is the other team doing with the time? And unfortunately, G2 seem like they're doing the exact opposite of what Fnatic did against Team Liquid. They are the ones who are getting objectives for free this time around, and they're going to be scaling into a perfect set of...
True. And it's going to be spawning now. We have the Rift Herald spawning in the river, just back where she belongs. It's actually really cute. And she's going to run from home and try to take down this outer turret. That should be a thing, but FlyQuest are going to be able to trade it for this dragon. And the extra gold for G2, I think they're going to be very, very happy with, right? Being able to build up a bit of tempo here at this stage feels great for the composition that just wants to scale later. Of course, Caitlyn, 3 items is really what you want to get to, of course. With the item changes, I feel like Collector IE feels like a good 2-item spike, but you kind of want a little bit more than that. And the power trough will definitely be in there. Of course, bridged by Caps, who's just completed the Trinity Force.
We'll see how much that actually means for these two teams, right? If you're not fighting, it doesn't exactly matter what items you're on, and Liquid have. And now G2, I mean, they're the ones who are actually creating pressure in this side of the map. They have the very strong core key, but they don't know how many FlyQuest members are actually here.
Yeah, there is a sneaky little Mario, and there he comes. Quad diving on out. Caps taking a lot of damage, and there is the Tristana sec. Quad gonna be able to lock down that kill there as well. 1-0-1 for the Tristana. As Broken Blade, he was actually trying to go for a counter play off the back end with the teleport, and unfortunately lost his mid laner a little bit too fast. Masu in this mid lane, trying to deal with G2, looking to make a cross map. And it might still be possible. The slow not actually going to land on a Mickey X, though, as he finds the Glacial Fissure. And FlyQuest kind of thought they had an opportunity, but Inspire goes down before he can really do anything at all. And now G2 are trying to dive on in. The Impale is decent, but the Body Slam is better. And now the Teleport's coming in once again. Quad finally in the battle as Whippo diving for Barrage, cuts them all down, and they don't even need the brand to do the AoE because Quad and Masu are going bananas here in the mid lane. Caps finally respawning though, and can he do enough to try and get this one back as Yike is there to support him? What a bloodbath. It was so incredibly slow until everything happened.
FlyQuest to take another opportunity for a fight.
Well, Whippo, he's going to be driving towards Caps here. Does get the Valkyrie out as there's the Solar Flare. Stuns up the Corki. There's not a lot of damage, but I guess there is enough as Whippo locks it down. Masu able to dodge the Winter's Bite there as well as he just throws it all into as well. That is a gigantic spike for this Ezreal that was already playing so aggressively here in these fights. Looking forward to seeing what more he can actually do here as Santa Claus is going to be teleporting his way into the mid lane and immediately picks up a True Shot Barrage. I think that earns you a spot on the naughty list there, Masu. As now Whippo getting pushed away from the Banana Brush, but they still do have that ward in there. In fact, everyone with vision available. Quad moving on up, and with all of these extra brushes, it is a dangerous time here for G2. They're trying to set themselves up, though. They've got their brushes down. As Mickey X moving forward, the Impale is going to pull him out. That is going to be the Dragon picked up by G2, but can they keep themselves alive as the Redemption comes through? But it's a little too late, and they lose their support. Mickey's on the floor, and FlyQuest, yes, they lose the Dragon. They don't get to that soul point, but still feeling really good about how these are looking dangerous. And that is that 2-item spike that we were talking about. One thing that we need to mention is the fact that FlyQuest really had an advantage. Oh, never mind. Masu tries to get out, and he's not going to be able to. The shutdown comes through. Inspired has to flash, and the outer turret is going to be taken. And in an instant, G2 just say, no, we have the control. Never you mind.
We got surprised about that just the same way that Masu did. I had no idea that Broken Blade was there. They get the kill. I was just about to launch into tirade talking about how well Masu was actually playing all these fights, getting those 3 kills. When Broken Blade shuts him down, they find a bunch of kills. They find some more going over on top.
Speaking of which, finds a double body slam. Quad able to get himself out of there, but the door is in position, and the flank angle from Caps is crazy. Still decent position for Quad, but they find him. Body slam comes through once again, and the shutdown comes in from the mid laner from G2. Whippo's out of there. There's the double kill for Caps, and all of a sudden, everything's on fire.
And the flanks from Broken Blade are going crazy. That's another opportunity to get everything coming through. G2 have such a good fight started from multiple angles, and now Masu is still coming around to see if he can try and poke people off, but he's got to deal with so much. There's a mid lane turret that they could potentially get, but G2 taking the fights that we saw earlier, turning them on their head. Now they're going to be getting the Baron, now they're going to be taking control of the map, and this might be the Harlem Globetrotting that we were looking at.
Yeah, this is a huge swing for G2. They are going to be able to take this one down. Managed to get this out of turret. Okay, Bwipo is taking matters into his own hands, but I don't know whether it's a great idea. Knocked up by the Glacial Fissure and then knocked down by Hans Sama. So maybe
immediately, FLYQUEST is already routed. Inspire just had to turn around. Now they're looking for Broken Blade.
Yeah, that's a party cask there as Broken Blade should be going down here. Quad able to lock that one up and had the explosive charge there. So FLYQUEST able to get something being used to take down one turret with all 4 members that are here. Gragas moving towards the mid lane to try and stop Quad. But if FLYQUEST are able to get more, then it should be okay. But if they lose an inhibitor, it's probably not.
Interesting.
So we're going to be trading for the Dragon, and FLYQUEST, your base is now exposed.
Yeah.
So one inhibitor, not end of the world, I guess. But if they lose a Nexus turret, it's really, really bad.
Here comes the teleports coming through from FLYQUEST. They will get the Ocean Soul point, but they're not going to be finding a fight here at all. They do end up defending their Nexus turrets, but feels like a very brinksmanship kind of way of playing League of Legends. We'll do everything else. We get exactly what we came for, but losing an inhibitor feels like a much larger price, especially because they didn't get either the inner turrets in the mid lane or the top lane. FLYQUEST, though.
Solar Flare going to connect onto the Ivern. Not exactly the greatest of prizes, but they'll take whatever they can get at this point in time. Quad on a flank angle, but Caps is right there to try and get him out. The Glacial Fissure is going to connect only onto Bwipo, who's happy to tank it, and Quad cut down to half health, but still able to get that disengage.
Quirky rockets, and you really have to be very careful about your positioning. You get a lot more freedom when you just have that little bit of extra lifesteal to keep yourself topped off. Now, FLYQUEST is saying that, Masu, we believe in you. You are going to be doing all the damage that we need you to, but it also means he has to be very careful with his positioning. He does have all the summoners up, and with 40 seconds left until the Baron, we have not yet seen G2 set up. They do not have the Ivern in those positions that we were talking about, where they would just get all the vision control they could imagine.
Well, they're going to be setting up for it now. 30 seconds on this Baron. It's a little bit dark up there, as we can see. Mikyx slightly separated, and Bwipo on a beautiful flank angle. Solar Flare going to immediately be cleansed, but that is now on cooldown. Oh, the Impale goes absolutely nowhere, and the door is fantastic. Bwipo having to flash away as Caps back into the fight one more time. True Shot Barrage doing deadly damage, actually, as FLYQUEST, they slink back into the fog of war, and they have control of the river for now, with Broken Blade at least very, very healthy moving up this mid lane. And they have to protect their base. I don't think they can give away 2 inhibitors in trade for a neutral, Joshi. I just don't think that is the right play.
This is definitely the spot where we see FLYQUEST. They are trying to get every single one. They do end up getting the red buff, but they're going to be giving a mid lane turret for it.
Well, Quad is now back, so maybe FLYQUEST are happy to fight as Inspired, looking to try and set up. Great Cask is going to connect, but Inspired flashes away. True Shot Barrage finds Hans Sama on that backline, but he's very safe. Masu, though, he gets on in there. Hans Sama is in so much trouble, but he survived. Oh, there it is. It's Bwipo that locks it down, and FLYQUEST are finding the team fight they've been looking for. Yike now getting chased down by the lawnmower, and we'll have to flash to get on over. He escapes, but could this be FLYQUEST now setting up for a Baron themselves? Or do they have to go back and protect their base? Or are they going to try and win the game? There are a lot of different options here.
They're trying to everything. They're looking for Caps on the top side right now. Cap's going to be blowing up. He's going to be away from the base. He finds only
so much time, but Quad is at least able to take down the inhibitor in the mid lane. And that is a staggering of the backs there as well, with Caps going down so late.
And with the Baron buff and the Ocean Soul all spawning at the same time, FLYQUEST have so many options they can go for. They are going to be choosing to go for the Baron first. Bwipo comes over the wall. They do got to send somebody back. They can't afford to lose another Nexus turret. But FLYQUEST finds such a huge fight, and Mazu's going to get himself out.
Yeah, okay, that was a little bit scary for a second there. And then it was an Ivern and a Braum. So we weren't going to see a death or anything like that. As damage, they'll have more, but they've got an Ivern in the jungle, and there is a Brand on the other side. So as far as damage is concerned, there is a whole lot coming out of everyone on both sides. And we'll just have to see who's going to be able to find the team fight they're looking for. It could be over in the blink of an eye if a few of these headshots do land as Whippo keeps that health bar high. Ace in the hole. Oh, Masu did not want to tank that one. Thankfully, he does have that Bloodthirster now completed, so can get a bit of that health bar back. But you can see pushing them out. And Mickey X finds the Glacial Fissure, puts up the door as the Impale comes in. Solar Flare is fantastic. And Mickey is just cut down, and now FlyQuest are flashing forward the explosion as Quad is going to be taken down on the back end, but they'll trade that for Caps. And Masu is still up. Hansama is surrounded, finds the net. It was decent, but they didn't kill the Ezreal. A triple kill for the young man from FlyQuest, and they might just walk down the mid lane and win game one.
And Masu, the rookie, like you said, coming up huge. We said that he was going to have trouble trying to navigate his way in this game, and he is doing it magnificently. 7-1-5 coming out for the young rookie, and FlyQuest are going to be getting the first game over G2. This is not the way I think anybody was expecting today to go. We already got 2 games from top Esports, and FlyQuest now in pole position to try and knock EU out of the tournament.
And someone's got to check the time zones or something like that, because Orcs yesterday said that it was no longer going to be the 4th of July, but I'm sensing the freedom as FlyQuest destroy the Nexus.
Position that is going to be kiting back. They do have a couple of good tools, but instead of going towards that extra marksman, it looks like they are going to instead try and bring out the Maokai. It's champion, I'll be honest, I had kind of forgotten about just because it had moved down so many tiers in terms of how much damage it was doing, but you can still build Leanders, you can still build the Blackfire Torch, you can still do a lot of damage with this, and it creates a very strong backline coming out for FlyQuest.
Up against FlyQuest, who really did just take the bull by the horns in game number 1. Found that victory. Beautiful pan out here as Neon Strike Vi, my favorite skin on the Vi. Always a necessity, though, to toggle the glasses on. That is very important. I don't know whether Yike has done it yet, but I assume he will.
We'll have to keep an eye out for that. We'll get the observers on that. Now, the other major thing that I think is a very important discussion right here, Alice, is I have been hearing Wayless alt chat now that APA is not in the Rift.
Yeah, no, it's not a thing that we're going to need to worry about until we head towards T1 versus TL. And
we'll see if
what's
T1
Faker going to say to APA?
Probably nothing. I don't think I've ever seen T1 or Faker in particular like alt chat ever in anything. So maybe we can get a little bit more out of that one. But right now, launching into this one, individual fights, but potentially losing the threat.
Perhaps. I'm also very curious about this top lane as well. We've seen both ends of the Udyr versus X spectrum. Udyr needs to be having a whole lot of control of the wave, I feel, and it's only been Keen that's been able to figure that one out. Now Inspired, looking to try and help Whippo get into that position. As walking behind the turret, there's the flash already. He's taking so much damage, though. That's going to be first blood, and maybe you just take it.
You end up just getting this trade, and you also get a massive freeze coming out for Whippo. He's not going to be able to hold this freeze super effectively as Broken Blade will be teleported.
Lying in wait, looking for his opportunity to try and help out here as he's been unlocked from the lane.
Ooh.
Moving around the alcove, but he's spotted on vision. Mickey moving up. Now FlyQuest just going to try and shove this one in, get themselves some tempo here towards this top lane.
Both junglers also potentially in the area. Inspired does showcase where he is, which means Yike is uncontested.
Feels like FlyQuest are a little bit too far up as they do get into the mist. They avoid the crash down, but that is still so much damage that they're taking. The flash out does come through here from Masu. The snare is decent, and Whippo just grabs himself a shield, and here we find Mickey. I don't know about that one, but he does get the Shattering Strike off. And now Piercing Darkness is coming through, and FlyQuest keep themselves alive, although they don't hold on to the flash from Masu.
And Inspired is here. He was able to get the Krugs, and he's trying to turn this fight around.
Yeah, they're trying to keep him interested. The equalizer is too good, though. And maybe just feeling a little bit like they could bite off more than they could chew here. The level 6 from the rundown.
Yeah, it's crazy. We got to start looking at it. We'll take a look at the post-game breakdowns for all the KDA. But G2, they are taking a little bit more control of the top side, giving themselves a very small lead across the board. But FlyQuest are still going to be the ones who end up getting a couple more of these grubs. And look at that. Masu just crossing the first breakpoint with all to move around. He has enough priority coming out from camps that he's able to get all of his own farm at the same time, whereas Inspired not necessarily looking for as many of these plays, but now potentially making me eat my words as he makes his way towards the top lane.
Yeah, looking like he's considering something. Broken Blade playing pretty defensively as he clears out vision, but then looking for that face check. Twisted Advance comes on through, Equalizer down, and Broken Blade's just walking on it, doing a whole bunch of work with that ultimate. But the Nature's Grasp coming on out. Whippo just standing in front of him. The flash comes in. Broken Blade down to about 3 health. Vault Breaker from Yike looked like he was trying to take down his teammate, but that is just going to be a real happy Braum.
He's going to have to go and complete that recall, but FlyQuest at the same time, this gold lead, it stayed about the same spot for a long time. Uh-oh, Quad.
Yeah, not sure about this one. Dawning Shadow comes down as Quad looks to get himself under the turret. He will do so. Inspired, can you get here in time to save your mid laner? The answer is yes, as they go too far, and FlyQuest take 2 under their turret. That was an insane teleport, but I guess Quad can say it was all planned.
I mean, that's exactly what we need to be seeing to the right place. I can't wait to see it again.
Man, that was nutty. And just getting there in the nick of time as well. So they'll be able to secure the first dragon of the game. That's going to be an Ocean here for FlyQuest as Whippo. This is what goes today.
Oh, Hansama.
I'm going to lose my mind. Okay, Depth Charge comes down. There's the flash. The hook is perfectly placed. As Quad comes in, that's a lot of DPS available. But Busio, he's just going to die. And Hansama, can he survive here as Quad's dead as well? So that's a 2-for-1 in favor of the young Varus underneath his turret. Hansama just saying thanks, I guess.
Yeah, that was just an overextension classically coming out from FlyQuest. FlyQuest have to be very careful because it looks like it's not done.
Yeah, flash crash down. There's a Magnet Storm as well as Inspired is just going to be put into the blender. Finds himself the Twisted Advance, and Yike will get taken down here by Masu, who's just underneath his turret, standing his ground. We got to get a bit of damage off towards Caps here, who's looking for that auto. There's the flash hook, gets the flash out of Caps. He did not want to try to risk buffering that one. Now we can see even Whippo just moving back towards the top side. He'll have that teleport at the ready. It's now FlyQuest move in, but this is just it. There's no way that they're going to be able to contest that dragon. Mountain Soul this game as well, which is kind of interesting. We're going to have Shelly go for a bit of a ride. Unfortunately, crashes straight into the wall, which is not really what they wanted. Now the Magnet Storm is going to start off this fight for G2. The Dawning Shadow is trying to keep them alive, and Masu is just going to be taken out. Yike will be destroyed as well, though, so a 1-for-1 trade. And now Puepo, can you keep Inspired alive? The answer is no, and it's a double kill for the Rumble. Yeah, a little bit of missed driving there on the side of FlyQuest, and G2 knew exactly how to pilot their composition to win out on that team fight.
Great aggression coming through from G2. That's exactly what we were saying. They had so much proactive tools available. Quad still alive, though.
Yeah, he's able to Valkyrie his way out. That's going to be okay for the minute.
It's going to be flipped for them, because at some point you do have to dictate how the game is being played.
Yeah. And that Leandri's, like you were talking about, has been picked up here by Whippo, and you can see it mows down these minion waves, so he's able to defend against Caps decently well. But now Quad moving up towards the top side to try and protect Whippo. Dawning Shadow looking to try and save him as well, but it's not quite going to work out. The Nature's Grasp comes in. Quad is going to be taken out, and there's the Twisted Advance. Inspired, he's able to at least kill one, and now the Root's going to connect onto Mickey. Inspired's dead though, and it's still a 1 fight for G2 as they're also able to take down the turret.
A 3-for-2. Caps instantly looking at the turret and saying, hey, there's a teleport coming there. We do not want that to complete. FlyQuest losing an extra member. I thought Yike going over the wall was potentially looking at the Baron. Is like, wow, that is aggressive, but not going to go for that one. It is just going to be another small gold lead, continuing to build.
To go. Dawning Shadow won't be there. But other than that, like you say, whole bunch of buttons ready to be pressed as Whippo will find Broken Blade for the minute, and he's not able to quite tank it as well as he used to as the Equalizer comes down, and there goes the Udyr. He runs around a whole lot, but other than that, it's hasn't been a whole lot of much as he just finds the barbecue and unfortunately puts his face on it. So now the first Mountain Drake going to be taken here by G2. Should be able to secure that very comfortably, but FlyQuest not going to give up without taking something themselves, and the depth charge going to come on through as well as Quad does a whole bunch of work. Now Caps, can he actually help grab this kill is the question. Is Mickey a little bit too far forward? Yike looking for an opportunity, but the Vault Breaker does not work, and he does get snared by Busio on his way past. This Nautilus playing beautifully, but now Masu is off on the wrong side, and Caps will just shoot him where he stands still. They're able to take down Broken Blade, and this fight is all over the place as Rocket Jump from Caps will get him underneath his inner turret. And is this an opportunity for a Baron?
I definitely think so at this point. FlyQuest is going to go directly over there. Yike is too low to really come over whatsoever. He'll try and jungle privilege his way back up to some reasonable HP. But it looks like Caps is just going to have to go for the mid lane turret here. And FlyQuest, like you said, a very chaotic fight, but they should be able to pick up this Baron buff, and we'll see what they can do with it.
I'm absolutely baffled, but now Yike is coming in. He's here at exactly the right time, but the saplings were there. And he gets the ward in, but that's just to watch the Baron go down. As Mickey's going to get hooked, he's a little bit further forward than the rest of his team. As Busio, he may have to be the sacrificial Big Daddy, and he will be taken down. Cap's going to grab yet another kill. 4-2 and 5 now on the Tristana, but a Baron surrounding FlyQuest. And Mickey is not a jungler anymore. It's only 1,000. And I think that with the Baron, they should be able to definitely augment that with a few more doubloons. As okay, Yike comes on in. There is the cease and desist. His equalizer is down as well, but Yike has now found himself somewhat overextended, is inspired into the back line, and he's just going to run his way out. He might be in his pajamas, but they look like running close to me. As Bwippo on that inner turret, he might just come on over and look to try and take down Broken Blade. He gets the slap, and there's a twisted advance. The Bramble Smash is decent as the Dawning Shadow comes in, but the Piercing Arrow is so strong, and Busio goes for a Buster Shot ride, and now Hans Sommer's just free hitting. Busio will be taken down. It's a double kill for the Varus, and it's I throw you catch here in this game.
And it's a negative Baron power play coming up from FlyQuest with so many members of G2 just barely getting out of that.
Completely out of flash. And I think he's really, really dead. Yep.
Very dead.
I'm not a prophet, but I got that one right.
Atlas
as inner turret will be taken in mid and top lane, and I imagine that if I was Broken Blade, I would be saying Worth, yeah. I mean, that's a lot of turrets, a lot of gold getting picked up by the side of G2 just for that one kill. And with a minute... Quest moving towards an empty Baron pit at this point in time, not feeling like they have any right to be heading on over and contesting for that position.
A little bit surprised.
Yeah.
Right, that's what we were looking at with...
here between the two teams. And the battle for mid lane control. We've been seeing this for many, many years.
Ooh, Mickey. Okay.
Yeah. He's been going for plays, hasn't he? All game long. Might have an opportunity to do so once again here.
Yeah, it does get spotted out by that sapling. Hey, turns out that those are very good abilities. But we are also seeing Quad moving to the other side of the map, saying that Blip was having a bit of a tough time with the Western Goat, as we do have a Baron getting actually started up.
Yeah, it is. And Caps is down here by himself, and this Baron is going down extraordinarily low. With Mickey looking for that turn, though, Caps is able to even take one down in the 1v. It's a double kill. He kills both of them. Never you mind. And now FlyQuest are being routed on the other side because, of course, it's a 4 versus 3. Busio now, yes, he's relatively tanky, but I don't think he's going to be able to survive this one. No inner turret to run to. And it's going to take Yike a while, but he'll just punch, and then he'll punch and he'll ask questions later and those Vi quotes and things like that as he misses the Vault Breaker, and things are looking a bit yakety sacks.
It's
and
out.
He just lets him leave.
I mean,
that was weird.
That's a little bit weird. Ultimately, the Baron will be going over. I need to see a replay of what happened in the bottom lane, because I was looking at everything in the top side of the map, and that means that Caps walks away with a
team fight to get them back into this one. 5,000 gold isn't end of the world, but it's getting closer. As Busio really wants to get into depth charge range, doesn't have flash, so won't be able to do so, as now it's Bwippo that's in trouble on the bottom side, and the rest of G2, they're just relying on the Caps global taunt, and they'll just win the game. Yes, congratulations, the Tristana is dead. Are you happy to trade her for a Nexus? I don't think they are, as the Magnet Storm comes in, and Mickey, he'll be taken down. It looks like this defense may work out, but it's a Nexus turret that is going to be destroyed here, as G2 are potentially even looking for more.
I mean, honestly, that's just absolutely insane. The fact that Caps is able to stall them out they do means that you get the bottom lane inhibitor, you get the bottom lane Nexus turret, and you can even back away and start playing for this Mountain Dragon, because FlyQuest committed 2 teleports and 3 members towards the top side in order to just take down 1 player from the other side. This is so monumental of a lead coming through for G in this game, but now G2, they're lining up for potentially the last fight of the game. It will be a 5-on-5, and here's a teleport from Broken Blade.
Yeah, looking to make his way in. That's going to hold on to that minion there. there as well as Equalizer comes down as soon as he gets there. But FlyQuest have the help of the turret, and the hook is going to connect as well. Broken Blade able to go golden to try and keep himself alive, and Caps has already taken down Busio with the explosive charge as he makes his exit. Remember what had happened earlier on? If this was a cooking show, this is what we prepared earlier. That dead inhibitor means that G2 can then move on over, take this one out. It's FlyQuest just trying to tell FlyQuest that they're not allowed outside of their base.
Yeah. I mean, there's nowhere else for G2 to be at this point. Just got to continue to push them. And Quad.
Oh dear. Quad's going to get jump scared and destroyed.
All right, next challenger.
Yeah, Whippo turns up and he's like, oh, I'm going to run. And Udir's very good at that. Does have Ghost if he needs it. He does not, but he might use it now to try and join this fight. Masu just going to be eviscerated, and the wallets are getting real heavy. That is going to be the shutdown, so at least Hans Hammer is going to fall, but so is the Nexus turret. And Caps, he can decide to end the game if he would like to, but first, he has got some revenge to pick up from after game number 1. G2 now looking to even the scoreline here against FlyQuest in game number 2, and do it with style here a little bit as well, as G2 will take down the things that you can take into it. That is Dr. Mundo.
Yes, I think that G2 absolutely have the better draft from this position. 1, the Mundo has a pretty decent matchup into the Rect and up in the top lane. 2, even though Mundo does not have the free magic resist built into his kit like he used to, there's not the same kind of just raw DPS coming out from the side of...
Well, let's just see how it does go as we are onto the Rift for game number 3. Do or die for both FlyQuest and for G2. Let's look at that. He's got his little car and he's making his way out. One of those skins, like some of them, I get upset because I'm afraid of change. You know, I'm an old man. Like, for example, Junkyard Trundle, I was very, very upset when that got changed, even though it technically looks way better, but he lost his one pink Converse shoe, and that was really sad. This skin just got better.
It was already one of the best skins in the game, and now it just... On of all these jungle camps, so Inspired is going to take the time to go towards the top side. This is a very large minion wave, and Broken Blade now has no passive, but no stun either for Whippo, meaning that it's just going to be a contest here for the Krugs.
Yep. Inspired is going to have a whole bunch of friends, though, as the Wall of Pain not quite doing anything at all. Defile comes in. He has tried to flash away, and then he's just dead. That is first blood going over to the Mundo, and that's what he read on the graphs that he was throwing around. He'll be able to clear out the wave with the fast bomb, and then look to go for a bit of a reset, perhaps, unless Caps is going to continue relentlessly shove these waves in. 2v2, yeah, Arrow coming out of base here. And this is so dangerous. Arrow is going to connect. He kind of eats it with the slice there, which was pretty cool, but there is the kill going over to Broken Blade. Flash out from Busio, and the Requiem not really doing too much of anything at all. Wind becomes lightning. Busio gets under the turret, but they're looking to try and dive him anyway. Winter's Fight comes through, and that is the trade kill. Looking pretty fantastic there. Busio making the best out of a bad situation.
Really good stuff from Busio to turn to get a passive first, and Inspired will at least pick up something for the troubles. He did throughout the ultimate get a little bit of money from the assist and the first strike, but will also be grabbing this Hextech Dragon for FlyQuest. And so even though the kills are starting to go in the favor of G2, FlyQuest are keeping themselves in a pretty good position in terms of the neutral objectives. However, the one big thing that we're looking at is this Mundo suddenly has 3 kills all of a sudden, Atlas.
Yeah.
We are going to be seeing this this Mundo become so strong in these later...
Chance of doing any damage whatsoever. Some bouncing bombs coming in here as Busio looks to try and get the stun down. Hansama looking to turn it as best he can. There's a Mega Inferno Bomb, and the bouncing bomb going to be picked up. And Hansama is lying on the ground. He definitely does have a bit of a short fuse here, this Ziggs.
Yeah. Trade my cooldowns for your HP bar, and Broken Blade is like, great. Your Slice and Dice is on a longer cooldown than my Warmars.
Hansama in a little bit of a rough position here. Masu not finding all of the bombs, but it doesn't matter because Inspired has this thing that goes around him that just does damage.
Yeah.
So the Ash is dead.
One of the things that I have learned is that close does count in hand grenades, and Ziggs does have a lot of those, and now he's got some free time left alone with the bottom side turret. Now, good thing for G2, they did get a couple of the Void Grubs themselves, so no Twitch chatters coming out for FlyQuest to try and help them out to actually attack these turrets. But FlyQuest, this actually seems like one of...
From being able to get too much value. Caps now getting a bit of a push on here towards the bottom side. Still about a minute and a half left on plates, and we'll see whether Caps is able to get any of those. Masu He's going to have a whole bunch of bad guys in the lane. There's not going to be any minions to help out, as that satchel charge was beautiful. That's going to make Orcs very happy. Use it defensively, ladies and gentlemen. Don't use it aggressively.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned. And also don't position quite like that. As the Requiem's coming down, can anything happen here? No, not quite able to do enough damage just yet. Is Inspired. Does have the Blackfire Torch done, but it's not quite. Still, G2 are going to have to back away, and the Ziggs will survive.
Yeah, really good stuff. Like you said, using that defensively. And now Busio looking to try and use things offensively, potentially looking for a dive, but Caps dissuades them.
Yeah.
Just enough damage in the explosive shot. Busio not going to be able to find anything there. We do have another Dragon, and the Riptide spawning in about 40 seconds, and Licky X does not have a lot of HP to play with.
Yeah, and now Busio might be in the wrong spot. Still a lot of damage, and he does get one back. Make that two! As the Phosphorus one just before Caps dives in. Still he's able to get the Leona, but that's a great trade for FlyQuest.
Really good stuff. That's a also perfect opportunity to use a satchel charge aggressive.
Rough position, but maybe what we've learned is that that's exactly what makes him the happiest, because he presses W, becomes basically immortal, and buys enough time for the rest of his team to come on over. It's going to be the Drake, though, started up here by G2, looking to even the score on that front. They should be able to do it without FlyQuest moving on in, as they are at least hovering around the area, but no vision available, and a little bit too dangerous to try and face check.
And FlyQuest, while they do have to be worried about this Mundo, we have the other team that it is not worth the fight, and keeping them low is a great way to do that.
Now, Busio was on vision there momentarily as FlyQuest, all right, I think they're done with this. Mundo is just on the phone in the laning phase. It's just rude. And now Broken Blade could be in trouble. Let's see whether the Soul Flare is going to do enough. They have a fair bit of CC up here towards this top side, but they're going to need all of it. Wow. There he goes. Whippo able to get his revenge. The arrow not quite positioned in the right spot. But Caps still able to grab that first turret of the game. G2 still utilizing take down Broken Blade.
And Caps at the same time, he's going to get a lot more damage onto the second structure as well. Yike is here to help them out. He's just going to be traded for that first kill and the top lane turret. As this sets up a perfect position. We've been seeing Tristanas consistently be uncontested in the side lane. Masu!
Yeah, that is Satchel Charge used just to try and get to the other side of the map a little bit faster, and that's going to require his flash to get out of the way. Inspired has spent a lot of time with Shelly, and that is going to cost them both their outer turret bottom lane, outer turret mid lane, and a little bit more. Still, they were able to get outer on the top side as well in response. Is okay, Whippo looking for a bit of an angle, but they don't have the man advantage unless maybe the Requiem can try and turn that. Caps down relatively low, Whippo out of cooldowns for the minute. And G2 looking to just back away. This game is neck and neck though, Joshi.
It is so close so far. We're seeing that the Requiem not doing a whole lot of damage just quite yet, but we are not going to be tempting fate in this one, but he doesn't see.
Yep, there's the Dominus, and he gets back around. That actually looked really cute there, Whippo, and he's a happy man, a bit of a giggle. The classic rock side to side.
Kind of in the same vein, but it's not necessarily going to be as much damage.
Broken Blade could be in trouble here as Whippo's still going aggressive. Still, he just walks real fast, presses R. Things should be all right. As he even took his jacket off. See that? That's why he's so much quicker. Not going to be hindered by that one. You don't have that much flexibility, you know, in a Blazer.
Absolutely. That's why whenever I go to a business meeting, I take my jacket off. I just need to be aerodynamic in case something ends up going wrong in all these plays. But Broken Blade does not need to back away now because Whippo used everything. That was the ultimate in order to try and get on top of Broken Blade. But now does have the tier 2 boots as well. Got the Heart Steel proc. And this is going to be one of the things that we will have to pay attention to is how much we'll actually see them as Caps jumps away.
That's the buffer on the Solar Flare. The flash forward from Busio doesn't quite do it though. And that is the value of Merc Treads, ladies and gentlemen. Tenacity is king.
Again, FlyQuest, yeah, at least thinking about it, and Whip was like, I don't know what's going on over here at all, but that will be a first Mountain Dragon going over towards G2, making Broken Blade that much more difficult to take down, and the rest of the team also likes a little bit of armor metric resist as well. But G2, one of the things that we have been seeing is they've been a little bit better at picking up all
Spends some time standing still, and then gets all of his health bar back, and then Whippo has to do it again, unless...
Yike.
Yeah, Yike is going to come in and ruin his day. Whippo does press the R button. Let's see what he can get done here. Yike is just dead. He is eaten by a crocodile, and now Broken Blade is also struggling. Has to flash away, and Hans Sama sinks his arrows in and is able to take him down. Now Quad taking matters into his own hands as well, and I don't know whether that was necessarily the right move as the Mega Inferno Bomb comes down and hits absolutely nothing. Lucio does connect the Zenith Blade, but the flash out from Mickey is going to be able to get him to safety. Damn, Whippo's an absolute monster here in this top lane, but still, I think that one works out for G2.
Yeah, just seeing with the Renekton, we'll see how much more Whippo can do in these games. With FlyQuest, they're continuing to send Quad, and Lucio has been spending a lot of time around the top side of the map without necessarily finding a whole lot of opportunities to be aggressive. But Masu already got 2 items completed. Inspired has 2 items completed. We see Quad on the 2, and here is another member.
This is going to be very difficult for him to get out of, as he does have a door, but they were already in the house, unfortunately. Hansama taken down to about 50% as it's a decent Mega Inferno Bomb, and now FlyQuest should be able to get towards this outer turret and take that one down somewhat quickly, not even needing the satchel charge there for the execution as Hansama. Ooh, mini stun into the wall there as well. He is able to back away. Is this Requiem going to do enough is the question. No, it's not, but still, he's going to be out of the fight. Caps completes an Infinity Edge, but now he needs to get back into the battle to try and help out G2 as FlyQuest getting that turret puts them towards gold parity. They need to focus on this one. 10 seconds till that dragon. They have so much zone control if they need it, as the door now put on cooldown here by FlyQuest before any fight has really broken out.
Where's Whippo going? He has an opportunity to run up towards this Tri-Brush, but he would get spotted by the wave. Yeah, he has to move soon.
He's an assassin as well. As now Inspired, can you actually win the 50-50 on this one? Yike looking to try and lock that one down. There it is for FlyQuest, and now Whippo's found the backline. Caps possibly in trouble. The slices, the dices, it doesn't work because he's so squishy. Flash out from the Mega Inferno Bomb, and these health bars are so low. Where is the Requiem? There it is. Is it going to get the kills? There goes Yike. So he's able to take down one, but can they get the rest of these low health bars? That's the question. Quad, now's your time. You can flash in and grab them this time. As Broken Blade, he's got a big old health bar, is now out of flash as the teleport is coming in, and Caps, he has a full health bar and he just wants to play Mario on FlyQuest. Masu, he's going to be the first one to go down, and now Quad just dives on top of the Braum. Okay, that's an interesting maneuver. Broken Blade will come in and just hits him with his briefcase. And G2, I think, in the end, come out on top, but I'm not entirely sure. Focus on the picture-in-picture here as there's a teleport coming in, but this Baron is just going to be taken by G2. And FlyQuest now finding themselves closed in upon the... Karthus is nowhere near. Lucio realizing that he's not getting out, as there's the Requiem to try and start this one off. Oh my goodness, Yike just explodes. And now Mickey, he's down to about 20% as well. Hansama's very, very low. Quad has been taken out though, and Whippo is not quite as tanky as other Renektons, as we mentioned earlier. And Mega Inferno, And now Inspired is going to take the Raptors. And FlyQuest, unfortunately, they lose out on the Baron. They lose out on Quad and Masu. And Whippo, unfortunately, popped like a balloon as well. And they're kind of falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, that ill-fated contest might be the last real opportunity.
And he's 6'2" and 6. He is extraordinarily big. Whippo going to be snagged by a volley. Mickey looks for the Glacial Fissure, gets on top of him, and the Crocodile is just going to be cut down.
That's the downside of playing this very aggressive style of Renekton. You do not have the HP to really do anything. You just get tagged once and you die. And now Broken Blade is saying, anyone around here whatsoever? They only have one place left to be on the map. They still have 40 seconds left of the Baron buff, and this should be all 3 inhibitors from FlyQuest falling. They have a lot of scaling, they have a lot of damage, but they don't have the tools necessary to try and do anything here as Mickey just flashes over the wall.
Yeah, just flashing over the wall.
Recreationally.
Having a good time. He will get back towards the rest of his teammates. But like you say, this is just going to be the last inhibitor. There is a conga line of buffed up super minions making their way towards the nexus of FlyQuest. And even though game number 1 went so incredibly well, the fairy tale seems to be over for the North American squad as G2 will take down the nexus and keep their dreams and their key alive here at EWC. And FlyQuest, unfortunately, gonna have to go home. It does mean we have regional representation from everyone moving towards the semi-finals.